What have we got here? Let's see. Welcome to First Pitch Live.
Good morning, May 9th, Mother's Day weekend. So don't forget that, everybody. But hey, thanks for being here. It is Smitty, and we went to the bullpen again with Andrew. He's jumped on before with us. So Andrew, thanks for being here with us, and let's get after it, man. How was thoughts for Friday night action? It was a wild one again.
Yeah, it seems like the roller coaster keeps getting better and better and better. It feels like when you think it's about to slow down, you get to the end, there's another drop, another loop-de-loop or something. It's been crazy so far. I mean, we were talking behind the scenes first about just like a bunch of these games that are happening, but it's pandemonium out here right now. It's going to start at 11 a.m. with a game that got suspended due to fog. So that's the best of it. So
why don't you go in if people, because I did not, I know this game was delayed, and we were talking backstage here about this. I didn't see all of this. I went to bed kind of early to get up and kind of recap some of the late games here to look over my notes and everything. But why don't you go into that if the fans missed it?
So Missouri and Vanderbilt, we were talking about it. The game was scheduled for, I believe, 7:30, and they didn't start till probably 9:30-ish. I went to bed 4-1. Vanderbilt's up. I'm thinking, okay, I'm scrapping this because I took Missouri to win the series in our SEC pick'em. I wake up and I see that 7-6, 7-6, and Braden Holcomb's up. But before that, you had Vanderbilt up at one point 6-1, and then their bullpen just collapsed in the bottom of the eighth. I mean, you had back-to-back singles, walks, wild pitches, and it was just an absolute. Tim Corbin's kind of been mismanaging this Vanderbilt bullpen as of late. And then top of the ninth comes around. The fog's starting to roll in now, and Braden Holcomb steps up. He says that ball went out. If you see the video on Twitter, I have it on my Twitter. It's reposted on the College Baseball Central Twitter. According to Braden Holcomb, a fan, and the Vanderbilt bullpen, the ball cleared the right field wall. And according to TrackMan data, it went 378 feet. But according to eyewitnesses and replays, it did not. So that's human error, I guess. But you also, like, you're top of the ninth, 2 outs. The game's suspended as of right now. You have runners on second and third. Like, it would be the most SEC thing ever for them to come on the field and be like, after further review, home run. It's 9-7. 9-7, and we're going to start play right now. If I'm Carrick Jackson, I'm getting ejected right there. You made a ruling last night. I don't care if you got it wrong. You made a ruling. You can't go on the internet, listen to everyone else's opinion, and then be like, oh, yeah, we messed up on that one, guys. We spent the last 12 hours not sleeping about it. No, you got to take it on the chin. We messed up. Ground rule double. Stay there.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, crazy. You know, when I looked, I saw, I think one of our Twitters just put that out on social media. And if you're old like me, you kind of think back in the NFL days when it was Randall Cunningham. I think it was the Eagles against the Bears in a game, and you could not see anything going on. Yeah. And that's really what it looked like. And if you're old like me, you remember that. So yeah, wild scene there, but there were some wild games last night. You know, one I do want to say is UCLA, Oregon. I was on the wrong side of this one. I think a couple of us were. I took the run line with the Ducks, 2.5, because I know Matt have talked about it on their show. You know, UCLA, again, number one team in the country, you know, dominating Big Ten play. But it's just one of those teams, Andrew, that they sometimes don't really take off until late, or some of the games are close. So I thought that was a chance last night in game one with the big showdown with the Ducks in Big Ten play. But UCLA took care of business last night, jumped on them quick. I think it was 2-0 after the first. 11-1 was the win. What's your overall thoughts on the Ducks or excuse me, UCLA moving forward here, Andrew?
It's crazy to think that with UCLA. It feels like, I mean, last week we just watched them come back from a 10-1, 10-0 deficit against Michigan State, and it just feels like they keep getting better and better and better, and they're taking down Big Ten opponents, and not even just Big Ten opponents. They're taking down the Oregons, they're taking down USC, they're taking down Michigan, and they're doing it with ease. Like, they face a little adversity here and there, but they're probably going to finish 49-5, 50-4. I don't think they lose another game outside of maybe one the rest of the way. And that's crazy saying that they go a perfect 30-0 in a conference play. But it also kind of scares me for UCLA when they get into a regional kind of feel. They're going to host the regional. They're going to be the number 1 seed. When adversity doesn't go their way, how are they going to respond to that? But I mean, they have the lineup. It feels like 1 through 9. They are the most dangerous lineup in college baseball. That's the thing. There's no easy out. From Dean West to Phoenix Call. Phoenix Call was a huge hero for them in Omaha last year. They are so dangerous. And then you add in Will Gasparino from Texas last year, who's got 20 home runs. It's dangerous. And it feels like no one gives credit to their pitching staff. They shut down Logan Redman a few weeks ago, and then Wyland Moss has been phenomenal all year for them as well. So it's going to be dangerous for UCLA down the stretch. It's obviously different than what we've seen in the past with like Texas and like Vanderbilt was the 1 seeds last year and being like the clear dispute number 1 seed. UCLA is the 1, and whoever the number 2 national seed is, there's a far margin from that.
Okay. Big 12 play. I know Noah Darling would be fired up for me going into this. You know, we said too backstage here, you got some big series in this. You know, you have West Virginia going to Kansas. I was on Kansas last night. Might go right back to the well, like I like to say here with them again today. They're so good at home. And then the other one is Oklahoma State. Starting to play really good baseball. They went out to Arizona State last night, got a big win, 9-6 in that with, 2 really big home run hitters out in that series. So overall, what's your thoughts on those 2 series moving forward this weekend?
I thought, to be completely honest, I thought Arizona State had it in the bag when Cole Carlin got out of that 7th inning jam. They're up 6-3, and I'm thinking to myself, it was 3-3. But they pulled away in the 8th, and I was thinking, okay, they got this. They got this. And then the roller coaster started for the Arizona State bullpen. Derek Schaefer, he hasn't been that good this year. He's been kind of up and down, inconsistent. And then just you put on Colin Ritchie to you pitch around Colin Ritchie, and then you bring up Garrett Scholl 2 batters later, and he makes you pay for it. So it's just, and then Campbell Smithwick, he had the dagger, the 3-run home run, to put the dagger in. But it's just, Oklahoma State's trending in the right direction. I don't think Arizona State's trending down in the wrong direction. I just think Oklahoma State, they've been playing for a lot more than just their pride. Josh Holiday coming into the season, rumors about his job security. But I feel like he's safe now, and they're fighting for a 2 seed somewhere. And then West Virginia and Kansas. I mean, I've been talking to Noah and a bunch of the Big 12 coaches about this series in particular, because it does have standing implications. But you can't say enough words about Max Yell's performance last night. Complete game, strikes out 9, and just dominates a Kansas lineup. Dominates. They are a red hot lineup, and to only give up 6 hits and limit them to 1 run and save your bullpen for these next 2 games, that's crucial. Very, very crucial here. So I think West Virginia is primed now to take this series one way or another, mostly because West Virginia has the pitching saved for it. I think Kansas, I mean, Kansas, they only used 3 arms after Dominic, and Dominic pitched very well. And that's one you kind of say, that sucks that we lost that one because Dominic's been pitching phenomenal lately. But you kind of take it on the chin, and you got to make those offensive adjustments going forward because it's not going to get any easier the way this West Virginia pitching staff has looked.
Yeah, I think good point there with the arms there. Only 5 runs in a Big 12. That's kind of shocking. These Big 12, I mean, if you like action, that's the conference for you. There's some really high scoring teams in there. So only 4-1 victory for West Virginia. Like Andrew just said, not a lot of arms used. So keep an eye on that. I know it's hard to take an under in college baseball because we like that action and we like runs, and that's what it's about. But just a couple other ones. I'll go real quick, and then Andrew, you can kind of finish where your thoughts were Friday. Georgia Tech was surprising, really tight game against Duke. It was 9-9. They win 10-9. You knew that was going to be a lot of runs. Duke's pitching staff is not good, very high ERA. Like it was like coming into that game, it was like in the high 6s. You knew Georgia Tech can score runs, but shocking it was that close. But then a couple other ones, Arkansas really took care of business last night. I know Matt Grissom, that was probably celebrating that one. And then Nick at the big concert last night, I know he was having a great time, but I know he was pumped about this one with Tennessee taking care of business against Texas. So those were 2 really good ones. And then let's just round it out with Q. Can't leave Q out. He's working today, but Florida scoring 5 in the 8th to come back against Kentucky. And that was a big blow to Kentucky's, hopes. Been struggling, been playing a little better, but Florida with a big win. So those were just a couple of the games that really jumped out at me. Anything with the close out the Friday slate, Andrew?
I was going to hit on Florida and Texas. Florida, it feels like that Kentucky bullpen's kind of reliving last season where they led in every single one of their SEC games. And they still finished with, I think, a 13-17 record in SEC play last year. The bullpen hasn't been good for them, and it continues to struggle. It feels like Kentucky's season's starting to get on life support here down the road. Another one, FSU and Clemson. Cameraman deked everyone out on that game-ending fly ball last night by, I think it was Bryce Clavion who hit the ball. 8-4. Bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, every kid's dream. And it was a very decently hit ball, but I'm trying to see who
ran it down well. Yep.
It was McLady. McLady flew out to end the game, but still a very close game. Some scary news with John Abraham leaving that game, FSU's top reliever. But still, you gotta admire Clemson's fight here down the stretch. They've picked up a ranked win against Coastal. They've kept it close in some of these series. They just won the series against Boston College. That's a ranked win series for them. And I don't think FSU sweeps them, but I think Clemson's going to take one of these next 2 games to keep it competitive down the stretch.
Yeah, I was on Clemson run line. I agree. They've been playing a lot better. Very good at home overall. And yeah, I saw the replay of that and I was like, man, that was so close. So close. But that's betting. That's why gambling's so much fun sometimes. Sometimes you get those breaks, sometimes you don't, but you move on. So again, everybody, thanks for being here. Andrew, if anyone jumps in the chat, if you can post anything, that'd be great. But anything you guys want to jump into and bring up, we'd be more than happy to answer it. Any action you like today. We like winning tickets, so let's go. Andrew, before we go into Saturday, I want to ask you something. This has been a heated topic on social media. A lot of these midweek games, getting close to the season, some people with the RPI, some of these teams are canceling games. And sometimes they'll say like, oh, there's a chance of weather coming in. And, I don't know about that, but you never know. Some meteorologists sometimes can say it's going to rain and then it doesn't. But they've been saying canceling midweek games. And then other teams have canceled some games and like rescheduled another team. What's your overall thought on this? Should teams do this? It's kind of like you have your schedule, win the games, and maybe you shouldn't be sweating. But what's your opinion on this hot topic right now?
I think RPI is such a outdated metric now because I'm looking at it now and it's just Alabama. They won last night. They dropped 2 spots because they played South Carolina, who has an RPI in the 80s, I think. It's like teams that are winning. Southeastern Louisiana, or not even Southeastern Louisiana, but like teams that are like St. Joseph's. They just won against VCU yesterday. They're dropping down a few spots. And so it's like it's detrimental to these mid-major teams that they're winning games, but here they are, they're dropping spots in a RPI. And it's kind of a win-loss situation here where you had look at Clemson last night. They rose 4 spots after losing to FSU. It's win-win, lose-lose. It depends on who you ask. I'm a big believer in playing all your games. I think it's kind of a double-edged sword because I am a former player here. So it's like when I looked forward to midweeks, I was looking forward to seeing other guys get into play and whatnot. And for a lot of these smaller schools, these are their only times really playing at a big school like Texas A&M, like Miami. But the funny thing was Miami canceled their game on Tuesday for unplayable fielding conditions, a.k.a. we forgot to tarp the field, yet we've been in a 2-week drought here in Miami. Louisville center fielder comes up, makes a play, it slips on the field, and the SID makes a joke saying, that's why we canceled the game on Tuesday. So I think it's a double-edged sword. I'm a big believer. I'm a big fan of Tracy Smith actually canceling games and playing teams in his region that are going to help his RPI. They've played Kent State. They've played Miami, Ohio. They've lost to Kent State and lost to Miami, Ohio. But it's helping their RPI, and that's why Michigan sits today at 41 on RPI, and they have a very good quad 2 and quad 3 record that might have them in on Selection Monday.
Okay. Good stuff there. Good stuff. Yeah, it's been heated. I mean, I think it's everybody. I kind of lean like with Andrew here. I kind of look at it and go, if you have it on your schedule, play it.
Yeah.
And that's just how I look at it. And, I think you made some good points there. I mean, I think anybody that has an opinion on it, I kind of laugh at the Miami. My brain goes 100 miles an hour, as a lot of our fans know. And I think of the movie Bull Durham on that, when they needed a rain out and they went and hit the sprinklers late in the game or in the night before. So they could get a day off the next day. That's kind of what I think about when you hear some of these field reports and everything like that. So well said. Let's move into Saturday. Let's get some winners today, people. Again, if you like a game, let us know what your lean is today. But let's just kind of go down the board. And Andrew, if anything jumps out, stop. We're not going to hit on, we don't have enough time to hit on everything. I'm just going to try to hit on some of the key matchups. And if Andrew has one, he'll say one jumping out 12 noon, Pitt, North Carolina. Again, lower scoring game yesterday, but Carolina's pitching. Guy had their ace on the mound last night. What's jumping out at me here, 10.5. Pitt's, Pitt can score. I think it will probably be Lynch today going for North Carolina, but Pitt's pitching staff, not very good. And Carolina can score runs. I think that's a little low. Now, there is wind. I'm just looking at my sheet here. 10-mile-per-hour wind is blowing in today. So maybe that's why it's at that. I got to look that one up on our site to see what the score is on that. I still think that could get to 11 runs, even with some wind blowing in on that. But that's one. I know one, Andrew, and I'll let you kind of chime in. We both kind of like this one. You brought it up. Alabama, South Carolina, 1 p.m. We looked at the total, 10. I have wind blowing out at 13 miles per hour. You like that over, don't you?
Yeah, I really like that over. I don't care who South Carolina has pitching, and I'm believing it's Zane Adams today for Alabama. But both these teams can swing it pretty well. Last night, it was 9-5, you said, or 9-3. So, I mean, I believe that these two teams can easily reach over that mark today. Let me conference.
I got it at a total of 11 runs last night.
8-3. Yeah.
8
So
to 3.
I think that they're kind of adjusting off of that yesterday, but I think Alabama's bats, they're looking to stay hot, and I think South Carolina, they're kind of playing for their pride this weekend, senior weekend. So I think they're trying to have a good weekend.
Okay. A lot of senior games today. I know Clemson's having theirs, so you could have some motivated teams today. One I'm looking at right now, Indiana, Purdue, Big Ten. There's another one, man. Big 12, Big Ten. You want to see some action? I like this. Let's look at this one. You have winds blowing out at 16 miles per hour. Total of 20 runs yesterday in this. We're looking at an over 15 minus 115 on DraftKings right now. I'm looking at the over in this one. I think this could be high scoring again.
No, yeah, I really like that. Indiana's kind of dead man walking here down the stretch, and Purdue, they're trying to hold on, maybe even add some RPI boosts. They were pretty high in RPI a few weeks ago, but I think Purdue's kind of letting all the gas come out these next couple of weeks because they are trying to backdoor into that tournament. They sit at 47 on RPI. But I've actually been a big follower of Purdue this year, and I think they've been a very solid team.
Yeah, very good at home. I think they have a really good home record overall. There we go. Miami / Nebraska moneyline parlay. I will say this. I love Nebraska, especially at home. I had them last night in a moneyline parlay. Love it. I'm going to probably jump on them again today. Now, you want to go with Miami there? I know you that's your area down there. You like hitting those Miami games. What's your overall thought on Miami today, Andrew?
I'm backing him up. I was making jokes Friday or Thursday night saying if Miami loses tomorrow, Friday, which they did, this team's going to come back and win Saturday. They can't sweep at home, it feels like. They can't sweep conference opponents. It feels like they're immune to that conference sweep. But I think that Miami takes care of business, especially with AJ Siskar on the mound today. He's their ace, dealt with some shoulder tightness. So they move him back to Sunday so he can recover a little bit longer. And he's been phenomenal ever since rejoining the rotation. And I think he's going to shut down the Louisville lineup today. And then we have this. Any reason not to like USF against Tulane today?
You can handle that. That's the teams you really do a fantastic job breaking down. Go for it, Andrew. You got this one.
Crutch.
Welcome, Crutch.
if you want a 2-unit play today, it'd be USF minus 130. Tulane is a dead man walking. I don't know what is going on there. Genuinely, I speak to the players, the coaches, advisors, not the athletic director, but people in that administration, and they are genuinely lost at what's going on there. And I'm lost. I saw this team play FAU a few weeks ago, and they looked like a JV high school team. I think USF's kind of not USF. USF is playing for their tournament hopes still because they have to get into this top 8 some way, somehow. Tulane, just the talent's not there. Pitching's regressed or hasn't developed. Hitting hasn't developed. Haven't had guys stepped up. The portal entries they've gotten stinks. And they had a top 25 portal class according to 6-4 analytics. You got to take that with a grain of salt now, it feels like. But I like USF today, especially, let me double check for you. If Michael Sine is on the mound, he's going to go, he's been phenomenal. He's going to win freshman of the year in the American, I believe. If he starts today, I feel very, very confident for USF. And they did not release a rotation, but I would expect Sine to start today.
Well, I like that. One guy posted a play. I wrote it down. I like that. You guys might have sold me. Now, how aren't you taking South Florida after hearing that? I'm on South Florida for sure. So, hey, Crutch, thanks for being here, man. Always appreciate it. Great handicapper. Make sure you're checking him out on social media too. Hey, one I jumped on yesterday. Ohio State. Ohio State is playing pretty good baseball right now. 4
Yeah.
wins in a row. You're looking at this one. This one has some wind blowing out. 20 runs yesterday, too. Of course, it's the Big Ten. They like to score. I'm looking. I'm man, this could be a total play, but I might just go right back to it. I'm not high on Michigan State. I think Ohio State takes care of business again. Right now, minus 145. It was. I think that's where I got it last night too. It might have been lower in the morning, but by the time I jumped on, it was minus 145. I think that's what I gave it out to. But I like the Buckeyes again today. I think they take care of business.
Yeah, I agree. I think Michigan State, kind of the same thing there. They're just playing for pride down the stretch here. Maybe they can make some magic happen in the NCAA tournament. But big shout out to Justin Hare, what he's kind of done here in these last 2 weeks with Ohio State. Obviously, you get the big sweep at home against Nebraska. They get canceled on Tuesday for RPI reasons against Miami, Ohio, and then you run rule Michigan State. I think Ohio State's getting hot and the bats are staying hot. I think it's going to be a lot of runs scored again in Columbus today.
Yeah, just another one too. Another team, Minnesota. Minnesota is playing really well too. The wind is blowing out there, 16 miles per hour, 14 runs yesterday there. So keep an eye on that one too. And then just one more, and then we'll go through some more here really fast before we get off. But keep an eye on Air Force. That one, wind was blowing in yesterday. I think the total was at 16. It was total of 13 runs. Washington State really took care of business. They won the game easily. I know some people were on them as the dog play, which it paid off. But again, higher total. I think it's at 16 or 17 today.
16 right now.
16, and you have good 17 mile per hour winds blowing in. So let me just run down really quick the wind. Again, Purdue's blown out Minnesota. San Francisco was one that was windy yesterday. That was only 7 total runs. The Zags took care of business 7-0 in that one. South Carolina, we already talked about. We like the over in that one. The Liberty game has some wind, Ohio State. So keep an eye on that. Liberty scored a total of 12 runs yesterday in that game. And then, like I said, Ohio State. Wind blowing in, some key ones, Air Force, North Carolina, Clemson. Clemson is also blowing in today in that one. So, I'm kind of leaning again. I know I lost that one. That Clemson game again, I just feel like that team is going to get one. I kind of agree with you. If the run line is not bad again, I might try to jump on the run line with Clemson today.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to go really quick off my paper. Kansas again. I might go back to Kansas. I know that's going to be a tight game. Andrew broke it down with, the setup with the pitching staff. What a great job the starter did for West Virginia. Minus 125 Kansas. Cincinnati. I played them yesterday. I might go back to them again today if it's not bad. Kansas State's a team. They've lost 8 in a row. Cincinnati, I think, has won 5 in a row. So 2 teams going in really different directions here. I might be back on the Bearcats with that. Anything else jumping off the page at you here, Andrew, with the slate?
Well, I'm going to shout out 2 guys. I'm going to shout out Crutch again. I agree here. Stephen F. Austin, you can't lose the series to last place in Incarnate Word. I think they take today, especially with it being the last day in the Southland standings. And I don't know how those standings are looking right now. I think Stephen F. Austin's playing for their season today. They are playing for their season today, technically. If UNO wins or no, they're not playing for their season, but I still think you can't lose a series to Incarnate Word. And then right here, Caesar, my boys in Boone, should be bouncing back. I agree with that. The Appalachian State has been playing very, very good baseball as of late, and then they dropped that one to UL last night. I think I like them today at minus 105. I like them today at minus 105. I'm going to add one thing. Miami was at the run line, minus 1.5 today. That was at minus 105 last time I checked, but if you can get that at plus 100, I'd risk a good unit on that. It's at minus 105 on DraftKings. I like that run line today, mostly because how bad Louisville's bullpen is. Louisville's bullpen, in a span of 35 minutes on Thursday, they trotted out 3 pitchers that combined to throw 15 strikes. So I'm a little worried about how that bullpen looks down the stretch. So yeah.
Looked up Clemson's run line way too high, minus
175.
Yeah, 175, way too high. So might have to just go there. The over-under's 10 in that one. Man, it's tough to bet unders. I mean, you talk about a sweat, man. Like you said, the bullpen. I call it the bullpen rant. I usually go on because I can't stand. Is there a team that can just have a lead and go into the 9th inning and it's an easy 1, 2, 3 inning? No. It's
everyone likes the dramatics.
It's always, it has to age you. It has to age you, college baseball. So just a couple things. Parlay pieces, Georgia again. LSU got out really quick yesterday. It just seems like if they get a lead, they can't hold it. I think Georgia's a good piece. I had them matched up with East Carolina. East Carolina blown it last night, I think in the 8th inning against Rice. Rice scored like 5 or 6 runs.
Yeah.
But, man, I might have to go back, and that's another good piece. I think East Carolina bounces back. And I'll just throw this out. Our site today really likes NC State, run line, money line, maybe a parlay piece because I think they're probably good favorites here. But our site is on NC State. So teams I'm looking to piece together some maybe money line parlays. Georgia again, East Carolina, NC State. And I'll look over some more. But – it is Saturday. I'm starting to get into I'm liking these overs a little bit on when it gets a little later, especially tomorrow. I played a lot last week, had a good day last Sunday in this, but that's really all I have. I'm going to go up and crunch some more numbers. Again, jump on the site. Our plays will be posted. Maybe I'll even try to throw out a free play here or there today. But again, Andrew, are you going to post anything today if you are on anything?
I actually, you want me to be clear? I haven't played college baseball bets in a few weeks, but I'm thinking of actually jumping back in today.
Let's come join us. Join the dark side. Join it.
I've been very busy that I've been letting my model run, and it's been doing pretty well. It's been hitting at a pretty successful rate. So I'm very excited about that. And I think it's getting going again, heading into conference tournaments, always a big thing for me. So I'm looking forward to that. But some parlay pieces I like Southeastern Louisiana, minus 270. They're playing a doubleheader today, I believe. So I don't know. I'm assuming this is game 1. So I'm going Southeastern Louisiana, game 1. And then I'm parlaying that with Nebraska, minus 270 there, minus 270 there. That's got you at minus 115. If you really want the extra juice, I'd go Purdue to get that to plus 181. I feel like that's going to be a little bit of a no sweat. I think that Indiana's kind of dead. I think Nicholls State, they're kind of already settled into the 4 seed in the Hammond Regional for the Southland tournament. So I think they're going to be kind of just resting bodies today in Southeastern, knowing Coach Barbier over there. They're going to be playing for everything, for those seniors especially. And then Purdue, the bats are getting hot. They're playing for everything. In Nebraska, they're kind of playing for everything now too, trying to backdoor into a hosting conversation. So I like that as a 3-piece parlay. A few straights that I like. Just looking at the board right now, I agree with Crutch on SFA. I like a bunch of these. Duke, Georgia Tech being at over 15. It feels like Georgia Tech the pitching sleepwalks through some of these matchups. I think they can take care of business. I actually like TCU to just put it to Utah today, minus 2.5 at minus 115 on DraftKings. I'm going back to the woodshed with you, Smitty, on Kansas. I'm going Kansas minus 125.
Yeah, let's get it.
You have to. You have to. And then I like Arkansas run line today, minus 1.5, plus 124. Today would be Gibbler, I believe. It was Dietz yesterday. It's Gibbler today. Oklahoma's pitching staff hasn't been good as of late. Arkansas's bats are heating up at the right time, I believe. I think you got some value there with Arkansas.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said, I was on Alabama moneyline parlay last night, Arkansas, Alabama. Again, we talked about the over in that we like, but I like Alabama in that one too. To maybe sometimes I go back to I'll just match it again. If I feel like it's good and I can get a good value on it, why not on that? South Carolina is a team that's lost, I think, 6 in a row too. So really cool team. So yeah, I like some of these like mid-majors that you came out. I agree with you. You said TCU. I think TCU pounds Utah today too. I had them down in my notes. So before we go, I just want to ask, we're getting, like you said, we're getting close to conference tournament time and then getting ready for regional, super regionals going there. Some people now that maybe haven't followed college baseball as much is going to start diving in a little bit more because it's like March Madness. I mean, you got a lot of people that will keep an eye on their basketball team, but when the conference tournaments start and then you get into March, then everyone's in it. That's how it is in college baseball too, and that's fine. So, but if anybody's listening to the show, I'm going to ask 3 teams for you, okay? 3 teams that could maybe get to Omaha because you could have a bet winning it or just getting to Omaha. I want you to break it down like this: a really high, powerful team that's been good all year, maybe then like a middle kind of tier, and then one that's kind of under the radar a little bit, that especially there people that are just getting into college baseball, that would be like, wow, I can't believe this team's any good. So who's your, let's start with a team that's just a lead. Who do you think is going to get to Omaha and maybe take a deep run at winning it?
The easy answer there would be UCLA, but I'm not going to play that card. I'm going with the elite of the elite. I'm going Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State has what it takes. Yeah, they did drop that game to Auburn last night, but I think Mississippi State, that lineup, I just don't see them losing 2 games in a row in a regional style, especially with them being at home. It's they got swept by Tennessee at home earlier this year. I just don't see them dropping 2 in a row now, especially with Ryan McPherson coming back. And that lineup's dangerous. I'm a big Ace Reese fan. I'm an Ace Reese believer. He was my Golden Spikes winner at the beginning of the year. I doubt that's got any value now, but I think this lineup and the pitching staff, you got to mix up the names, the last names, but Valanquist, it does roll better, but they've gotten some guys to step up in the pitching rotation outside of McPherson being injured. But yeah, that would be my powerhouse to get to Omaha.
Okay, how about middle tier?
Middle tier. If you guys follow me on my Twitter, I beat a dead horse with the American. I'm going UTSA here. With they were in a super regional last year. They just happened to draw UCLA in that regional. And we all know how that kind of works out now. But UTSA, they're behind the best player in the American with Drew Detlefson. That lineup 1 through 9 is so good. I think it's the best mid-major lineup in the country. Maybe going toe-to-toe with Coastals and Southern Misses here and there. But I think their offense can go toe-to-toe with any pitching staff. We saw it go against Texas pitching staff. They scored, I think, 8 runs the other day on Tuesday. And it's not Texas throwing a bunch of freshmen against them. It's Texas throwing their bullpen guys against them. So I think UTSA, that offense can get going. I have a little concerns with their pitching. They're down their best pitcher who hasn't really even thrown this whole year. But they've had a bunch of guys step up for them in that department. But again, I think Pat Hallmark's done an unbelievable job, and he's going to be coaching out of Power 4 next year, mostly because of the job he's done at UTSA.
Okay. How about one under the radar? Again, like people would not think that would have a chance, especially, again, just coming in and just trying to get into college baseball right now.
Right now, I think under the radar, really under the radar, I'm going with Jacksonville State here. It's crazy saying that because they're leading this USA by a very wide margin. Oh, no, I'm actually going to flip-flop because Caesar said something right here. UCSB. I'm going UCSB here.
Okay.
UCSB.
Well, you just gave out 2. So I mean, if you don't like that one, he gave you another one. So that's what we do here. We always give you a lot. Go for it.
I'll give you both, actually. Jacksonville State, their lineup's elite. UCSB, their pitching staff's elite. Obviously, the pitcher of the year is going to be coming from UCSB and Jackson Flora. Didn't have his best stuff last night. I think his ERA moves to over a 1 now, so he doesn't lead the country with the lowest ERA anymore. I feel bad for the guy, but no, I think you look at this pitching staff for UCSB, they're getting stronger by the day because they're returning one of their best pitchers in Calvin Prosky, who's been throwing in all these midweek matchups, and they've taken down the big beast already with UCLA. They've gone to win against UCLA. This the lineup, it's not anything special. It's not anything that's going to overwhelm you. But I just think this pitching staff of Flora, Montgomery, Aceves, and then Calvin Prosky ready to go in a do-or-die game. I just don't see this UCSB team losing 2 games in a row and not getting dominated on the mound. I think UCSB, they're kind of being slept on by a lot outside of Flora, but I think they have one of the best pitching rotations in the country as well.
I think the big thing with them, and I think it's year in, year out a little bit, is their offense. Can they score some runs sometimes? Sometimes they do, they explode, and then other times it's very low scoring games with them. Yeah, Flora, I'm being a Pittsburgh Pirate fan. He's right there in some of the mock drafts, and I love arms, and especially with the Pirates pitching staff. Keep building using the arms. I love it. Let's draft him, and I'll be very, very happy.
If the Pirates have a rotation of Paul Skeens, and because Flora would be like a Skeens level of projectability here, it would be Skeens, Flora, Bubba Chandler, in a few years, Seth Hernandez.
Seth Hernandez dominating, yeah. Jared Jones is coming back.
Oh my God,
that start. Yeah, you got them, and that's and we're not going to go into major leagues here, but I mean, I love the arms, man. Build the arms in that system. He's one. I hope he's there, but they're in a good spot. So, well, great show. Great show. Yeah. We appreciate everybody being here. Thanks for getting up with us. And we even let you sleep a little bit. We said 9 a.m. today, so we usually do it 8:30. But Andrew, hey, everybody, check his stuff out. The Redoubt Report. Monday, Thursdays?
We're going Monday, Thursdays. Okay. For now, we're back full time. We're going all gas, no breaks now with conference tournaments rolling into now. So I'm very excited to be fully back with us.
Yeah, check it out. I try to tune in when I can. It's great stuff. I mean, Andrew just does a fantastic job, and everybody here, the station here, I mean, we knock it out. I mean, there's some great shows, so make sure everybody's checking that out. But everybody, thanks for being here. Get some bets in. Have a great day. Let's win some money. Until next week.